that He is Yah, and I trust Him. I'm less than the one I need to be. If I believe that He's in me, that He's in me, I don't live this life for selfish things when He's the King of all that breathe. My Yah talks to me and comfort me. I hope you're not done with me, for what's become of me. But sometimes I feel like as if I don't belong here. This deserves a tear. This deserves a tear. This deserves a tear. Go ahead and cry. There's been some cloudy days that done came my way, but you showed me the way when you taught me to pray. I should just call on you when skies are blue. Yah, you are the truth that walks me through the path of misery. You make it beautiful. The scriptures are the proof that Yah lives in you. I was too blind to see what you can do with all this wickedness. My Yah, I'm through. But now I know I do belong here. This deserves a tear. This deserves a tear. This deserves a tear. Go ahead and cry. But now I feel like I do belong here. This deserves a tear. This deserves a tear. This deserves a tear. Go ahead and cry. Praise Him, 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 for He's a mighty King. Praise Him from the heavens. Praise Him, all ye on the earth. Praise Him for everything. Praise Him, 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 ye heavens of heaven, and ye waters up in heaven. Let them praise the to Zion. Hallelujah. Praise YIHYAH. Hallelujah. Well, we have the usual request for Baruch Hashem. But I need everybody to participate in it. Yes, ma'am. Do I have a tambourine out there? I need a tambourine. Yeah. We're getting in. Come on. I'm ready to.
Let me show you how to do it.
Sip in the house.
Is everybody ready? I want to get that repeat. I'm going to hear those voices and praise the Almighty. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Elohim. Elohim. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Elohim. Elohim. Baruch Hashem. Yah Elohim. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Yah Elohim. Shabbat.
Hallelujah. 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 Praise the mighty Yah. Yah's righteous. Yah's holy. And let Yahweh be magnified. Beautiful singing from Tova 2. Hallelujah. Give him another round of applause. Praise the mighty Yah. And we're going to get right back into the swing of things with getting the beautiful lessons from our Mowrehs of the house of Israel. The next Mowreh I'm fitting to call up. See what Mr. got me saying? Fitting. And I'm from New York. You got me saying fitting. I don't even know how to use that for real. But the next Mowreh that I'm about to call up, he is actually one of the original founders of the restoration of the Sacred Laws of the Most High Conference. He was with the Mowrehs 24 years ago when this conference began. It was his leadership of the hotelier work that helped bring that first conference into fruition. His work as a servant of Yah, we can't just call him the Mowreh in the house of Israel of a certain city, because he goes all over the place. So we just gonna call him the Mowreh of the house of Israel. And that's just gonna be for everywhere. Like that globe. He just travels all over. And that's beautiful, because the Most High said he will send his servant to all the nations. And he is definitely one of those servants that Yahweh has sent throughout the highways and byways. So without further ado, I'm going to call up my brother, Mowreh Yehoshua. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. You can be seated. I'm a lot taller than the other brothers, so they got to adjust the mic. I'd like to first and foremost give praise and honor to the Creator of the heavens, the earth, the sea, and all that therein by saying Hallelujah. Hallelujah. You know, it's beautiful to be in the courts of the saints of the Most High. And I want y'all to know, I take it very seriously. These teachers take it very seriously, because we realize and understand that we are speaking to the apple of Yah's eye. And it's no small feat, because Israel is one rebellious people. And I don't have these grades because I'm old. I have these grades because of war and stress and being wore out by Israel. And y'all don't understand the work that goes into play in dealing with our people. But I wouldn't do anything else. And I'm thankful to be here before you and stand before you. And as I stand before you, and before I get into the lesson, because I am going to speak on who will gather Yah's people, Yah himself or his servant. And it's something that the world really don't know. And I need to share this with you all, because there's only a select few people that actually really know who this is and what the Almighty's going to do and have in store. But before I do that, there's something I want to answer right quick. I was asked a question about when we going to get the name of the Almighty right. Some of us call him Yahweh. Some of us call him Yehovah. Some of us call him Yahweh. Some of us call him El Shaddai, Lord, God, and a few other things out there. And I'd like to share this with you all. In the book of Songs, the 68th division, let's go there first. Psalm 68. I want y'all to truly meditate and understand what we're about to read. This topic came up at one of our conference many years ago. And it was so beautiful. I don't know how many leaders we had there, but we had quite a few. It was in Cincinnati, Ohio. And despite what all the scholars say, despite what all the men of intellect, it's one thing that we came out of that conference in unison. In the book of Psalms, the 68th chapter, the 4th verse, read that for me, IshiYAH.
Sing unto Elohim, sing praises to his name, extol him that rideth upon the heavens by his name, Yah, and rejoice before him.
See, there's no dispute about Yah. There's no dispute about us saying hallelujah. There's no dispute about what we just read. Everybody in agreement with it. Everybody says it. Everybody uses it. And the leadership agreed that when we come together collectively as a whole in unit, we would say Yah. Also, I also let you know in the book of Exodus, the 6th chapter. Let's go there. In the book of Exodus, the 6th chapter, IshiYAH, start at that second verse for me, because I want to get right into it.
And Elohim spoke unto Moses, and said unto him, I am Yahweh, and I appeared unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Yaakov, by the name of El Shaddai, but my name Yahweh was not known unto them.
See, most people don't realize until this time the name of the Almighty wasn't even known to who? Our forefathers. And our forefathers was able to call on who? The Creator. He said, I'm the Elohim of who? Abraham, Isaac, and who? Yaakov. That is my name. To all generations forever. So if you're calling on the power of Elohim, of Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov, then we calling on the same what? Power. Then we in what? Agreement. As long as we follow those two fundamental scriptural laws, then we what? We good to go.
We won.
So we don't have to decide on should we start saying some of the other names. Now, I say Yahweh, and I truly know that his name is Yahweh. But if somebody don't have that level of understanding that I do, that's okay too. But one thing I do know, if they saying Yah, then we okay. If they saying the power or the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov, then we calling on the same what? Power. We calling on the same what? Creator. The one who delivered us out of the land of what? Egypt. And if they not identifying that they delivered us out of the land of Egypt, then you be cautious. Then you be worried. Then you take a pause, you take a step back. Now you got a question. Hallelujah?
Hallelujah.
Now I want everybody to turn to the book of Deuteronomy, the 18th chapter. There's something in the book of Deuteronomy, the 18th chapter, that I'm going to ask for your wisdom. I'm going to ask for your perceptibility. I'm going to ask for your intellect. I'm going to ask that the Almighty Spirit come upon you if you see something that I see in here. And I want to convey this to you all. In the book of Deuteronomy, the 18th chapter, and I want to go right to the chase. I believe, and I know for a fact that the Almighty is going to send his servant. He always worked through his servants. And I'm going to show you how he works through his servants. And that he let us know in his record that he works through what? His servants. Now what's this in the book of Deuteronomy, the 18th chapter? Start reading at the 15th verse for me.
Yahweh thy Elohim will raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thy brethren, like unto me, unto him ye shall hearken. according to all that thou desired of Yahweh thy Elohim in Horeb in the day of the assembly, saying, let me not hear again the voice of Yah my Elohim, neither let me see this great fire anymore, that I die not.
The Almighty said, listen, Yahweh thy Elohim will raise unto thee a what? A prophet. From the midst of who? Thee.
People.
Like unto who? Thy brother, and you shall what? Hearken. Don't y'all know this is a direct commandment from the Almighty? And then he says something very important and very peculiar that most people don't understand and realize. I want you to read that 16th verse again.
According to all that thou desiredest of Yah thy Elohim in Horeb in the day of the assembly, saying.
See, this is what we wanted. This is what we asked for. This is what we petitioned the Almighty to do. And you know what? He granted that permission. He granted that proclamation. He says, go ahead.
Let me not hear again the voice of Yah my Elohim, neither let me see this great fire anymore, that I die not.
Don't you know that the children of Israel were so afraid, and they should have been, so fearful, that they didn't even want to hear that great voice of who? The Most High. So he granted it for them. And this is a law that stands today. This is a commandment that the Almighty proclaimed to us in His day and in His what? In His time. Continue reading.
And Yah said unto me, they have well spoken that which they have spoken.
This is a good thing.
I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him.
Don't you know that you are obligated by law to hearken and listen to who?
Yahweh, the prophet.
Yahweh's prophet. The one he said he gonna what? Raise up. How do you think the Almighty lead his people? Through what? His prophets, the servants. His prophets, the servants is the one who convey what? Information to you. The prophets, the servants is the one who tell you to go to the right or go to the what? To the left. See, the Almighty ain't coming down and telling you to do these things no more, because you, our ancient forefathers, petitioned him not to what?
Spoke directly.
Not to speak to him directly. Now you stuck with who?
Man.
A man. Whether you like it or not, you stuck with a man. Continue reading.
But the prophet, which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other Elohim, even that prophet shall die.
And of course, he have always given us what? Guidelines. He let you know, somebody come, and this prophet come and speak, and say he's speaking in my name. If he's speaking in the name of other gods, other deities, other idols, then that prophet gonna what?
Die.
He's gonna die. And I want y'all to understand what he's conveying to us. Continue reading.
And if thou say in thine heart, how shall we know the word which Yahweh hath not spoken?
See, everybody just want to know the truth, right? And everybody asking that same what? Question. And he asked the question for us, and then he turns around and what? He answers it. Go ahead.
When a prophet speaketh in the name of Yah, if the thing follow not, nor come to pass, that is the thing which Yah hath not spoken. But the prophet hath spoken it presumptuously. Thou shalt not be afraid of him.
See, the Almighty wants y'all to understand something. The Almighty said he would do nothing, but he reveals his secrets into who? His servants, the prophets. Now let me show you something that he revealed. The scriptures say to the law and to the what? To the
Testimony.
testimonies. Go to the book of Exodus right now for me, the 3rd chapter. In the book of Exodus, the 3rd chapter, for the sake of time, I want you to go down to the 6th verse, IshiYAH.
Moreover, he said, I am the Elohim of thy father, the Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Isaac, and the Elohim of Yaakov. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon Elohim.
The Almighty was identifying himself, and he was identifying himself by who? Our forefathers. Go ahead.
And Yah said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people, which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows. And I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians.
The Almighty said, who's coming down? He's coming down to do what? Deliver them. Go ahead.
And to bring them up out of that land unto a good land, and a large, unto a land flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites.
Don't you know the Almighty said he's coming down to deliver us? Who came to deliver us? He did. But through who?
Sir.
His servant. Continue reading.
Now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come unto me, and I have also seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptians oppressed them. Come now therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt.
Hallelujah. Was that a contradictory? Was that something that he made a mistake? That's why the scriptures say wisdom is the principal thing. Get ye wisdom. But with all I get is what? Understanding. He letting us know that he delivered us, but he sent Moses, his servant, to do what? To do the delivering, to do the work, to do the saving. That you understand? Did y'all see? Don't y'all see in the book of Deuteronomy, the 18th chapter, what he just conveyed to us? That he sent in prophets. He sent in messengers. He sent in servants. But there's one servant that the world don't even recognize, that Israelites don't even consider. Go to the book of Genesis, the 49th chapter for me. I got to share this with you all, because most people don't know. They don't believe, know, and what? Understand. In the book of Genesis, the 49th chapter, and let's go straight to it. Read the 10th verse for me. I want y'all to mark these scriptures down. Write them down. This is a school of learning. We're going to learn today. Go ahead.
The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be.
Do y'all know who this is talking about? Do y'all know who the Almighty is conveying? This great individual, this great servant that we have to come to, that we have to seek. And the truth of the matter is this. There's only a handful. Matter of fact, I only know of the house of Israel that's affiliated with us is even seeking this individual, even talking about it. Because the other Israelite communities are not. The Christian communities definitely is not. The Islamic communities are not. The people that follow the religion of Judaism is not. The man with the big fat belly, they not. And the rest of the idols out there in the world, they not. And I got to share this with you, who he is. Because I want you all to know. Go to the book of Hosea for me. Because y'all need to know who this individual is. Who we seek. Who's going to deliver us. Who's going to be that great king. Hosea, the 3rd chapter. Read that 4th and 5th verse for me, IshiYAH.
For the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king.
The children of Israel shall abide many days.
And without a prince.
Without a king, without a prince.
And without a sacrifice.
Without a sacrifice.
And without an image.
Without an image.
And without an ephod.
Without an ephod.
And without a teraphim.
And without a teraphim. Go ahead.
Afterward shall the children of YIsraEL return and seek Yahweh their Elohim and David their king, and shall fear Yah and his goodness in the latter days.
Don't you know? Don't you see? See, the Almighty is conveying something to us that I want you all to see. See, the Almighty is letting us know something very, very vitally important. He have a servant that is like no other servant on earth. And this servant is going to have some abilities that most don't have or never will have. And this servant, the Almighty said, not only he put this servant in a category with him. And I don't know if y'all saw that. He said, for the children of Israel shall abide many days. And we are. Without a king, we don't have a king. Without a prince, without a sacrifice, without an image, without an ephod, without a teraphim. And afterwards, after we abide all these days, he said, the children of Israel shall what? Return. And seek who? Yahweh, their Elohim, and what? David, their king. Now let me ask you this. Who's seeking David? Who's talking about David? Who even considering David? Because the Almighty commands us that we got to do what? Part of our return is to seek who? Yahweh and who? David. I don't know if y'all know and see. Those who have eyes that can see and ears that can hear. Let me show you something else in the book of Ezekiel, the 34th chapter. In the book of Ezekiel, the 34th chapter, the Almighty is letting us know something very important. We're going to read the 20th through the 24th verses. Because we read earlier that we're going to seek them in the what? Last days. In the latter days. In the book of Ezekiel, the 34th chapter, the 20th verse states,
Therefore, thus saith Yah Elohim unto them, Behold, I, even I, will judge between the fat cattle and between the lean cattle, because you have thrust with the side and with shoulder, and pushed all the disease with your horns, till you have scattered them abroad. Therefore will I save my flock, and they shall no more be a prey. And I will judge between cattle and cattle.
Because the flock has been what? Scattered. And when the flock is scattered, you know what has to be done? They got to be gathered. And not only do they have to be gathered, the Almighty letting us know something that I don't want to escape. He said, that 21st verse says, but because ye have thrust aside and shouldered and pushed all the disease with your horns, till you just have been. In other words, what this is saying is that we done adopted everything on the face of the earth. Every idol, every image. We walk out to the imagination of our own evil hearts. And because we have done this, and even the leaders of our people have scattered us. And they done told us some things that are just not true. And they got us serving things that are just not right. And the Almighty said, I gotta set all these things up. And I have to fix all these things. And he says, go ahead, continue reading, 23rd verse.
And I will set up one shepherd over them.
See, this shepherd got to do a job. And what do a shepherd do?
Lead the sheep.
They don't just lead the sheep, they what? They gather the sheep. A shepherd, when one go away, what do the shepherd got to go do? Go get it. Start that verse over again.
And I will set up one shepherd over them, and he shall feed them, even my servant David. He shall feed them, and he shall be their shepherd.
Who you think gonna set all the crooked things straight?
David.
Those who know. Those who closest to the Almighty. What happened in the days of old? The scriptures say, look to the old path. Look to your fathers. What did Moses have to do when we came out of Egypt? Did y'all know what Moses had to do? He had to set things up. And then he had to judge the what? The people. And all season. Then he realized he was too worried after he got the wisdom from his father-in-law. And then set up what? 70 elders. What do you think David's job is going to do? He got to set up the kingdom. He got to set up the nation. Then he got to judge some people and get rid of them. This was part of the shepherd's job. He says, read that verse again for me.
And I will set up one shepherd over them, and he shall feed them, even my servant David. And he shall feed them, and he shall be their shepherd.
Go ahead.
And I, Yahweh, will be their Elohim, and my servant David, a prince among them. I, Yah, have spoken it.
Do you know if the Almighty don't allow his shepherd to lead the flock, you know what's going to happen?
Perish.
No, somebody else going to try to stand in the gap and do what? Take his place. Don't y'all understand that? If the shepherd don't lead us and take us where we need to go and show all those wonders that Moses showed, you know what's going to take place? Rebellion. Don't you know? Y'all know how people? You know the leaders, they want to be in charge. And most of them ain't right anyway. And the Almighty can't allow this. Because he want one prince, he want one shepherd, he want one king, and then he told you to what? Seek him. And let me show you how great he is, and how great the Almighty's going to make you. That makes him different from any other leader. Go to the book of Isaiah, 11th chapter. I want you to start at the first verse, IshiYAH.
And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse.
Who is Jesse? David's daddy. His Abba. Go ahead.
And a branch shall grow out of his roots. And the spirit of Yah shall rest upon him. The spirit of wisdom and understanding. The spirit of counsel and might. The spirit of knowledge and of the fear of Yah.
I want you to meditate on that right quick, just for a second. I want you to understand what the Almighty is doing. The Almighty is letting us know that this offspring of Jesse is going to have the spirit, is going to rest upon him, the spirit of wisdom, the spirit of understanding, the spirit of counsel, the spirit of might, the spirit of the knowledge of Yahweh, and the fear of what? Yahweh. Do y'all know how powerful that is? He's going to have an intellect that we can't even comprehend. The Almighty put something on this man so strong that we just pray the Almighty just give us the ability to take two of them. Let alone all of them. This is what's going to make him different than anybody on the earth. Then he says in the third verse, go ahead.
And shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of Yah. And he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears.
This guy's going to be a judge, a king, a prince, a shepherd. Go ahead.
But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked.
How you think he's going to slay the wicked? He's coming to slay with what? His mouth. How did Moses slay the wicked? With his words.
Lips.
The lips of his mouth. And he's going to slay the wicked. And he ain't going to be up in no palace trying to what? Slay no wicked. He got to be in the what? The trenches. He's got to be down there with who? Us. Because if he's not, who's going to follow him? If he's not, who's going to obey? This is how powerful this man is. I want y'all to see with your eyes and hear with your ears. Go to the book of Isaiah, the 55th chapter for me. Because you got to understand, Israel ain't talking about David. Israel ain't talking about seeking David. Well, I am. I want to know who he is. I know there's a bunch of people out there because they ask me all the time, you know who he is? Is that David? Is that David? Are you David? Are your brother David? They asked it. That lets me know that they what? They seeking. And they should be. Because the Almighty commands us to what? Seeking. Nobody else ain't seeking him. But I am. And those who know Yah is. In the book of Isaiah, the 55th chapter. Start reading out the very first verse for me, IshiYAH.
Ho, everyone that thirsteth, come ye to the waters, and he that hath no money, come ye, buy and eat. Yea, come buy wine and milk without money and without price. Wherefore do you spend money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which satisfieth not? Hearken diligently unto me, and eat ye that which is good, and let your soul delight itself in fatness. Incline your ear, and come unto me. Hear, and your soul shall live. And I will make an everlasting covenant with you, even the sure mercies of David.
Go ahead.
Behold, I have given him for a witness to the people, a leader and commander to the people.
In order for him to be a leader and a commander, he has to what? He has to lead. He has to instruct. He has to give some instructions. He has to lead some individuals. He has to do some works. He has to show you something, because the truth of the matter is, you hard-headed, rebellious Israelites, is not going to follow me unless he show you some serious signs and some wonders. And the truth of the matter, you ain't going to follow him. And even then, you ain't going to follow him. Just like they didn't follow Moses. When Moses went to the children of Israel and told them in Egypt, and he warned them, let them know that he's going to put those 10 plagues. And after they did those 10 plagues, they still was what? Rebellious. And the same blood run through you all, run through us. And our ancient forefathers. They didn't follow then, and a lot of us won't follow now. Only the remnant, only the elect, and only the saints. Let me show you something else in the book of Malachi. Let's go there. There's only a couple more scriptures I want to show you all. But I think you have to understand who we dealing with, who we talking about. You know, some people don't believe it. Some people don't know how Yah work. But you better learn his inner workings and how he do things. Because he shares throughout his entire holy scriptures how he work and how he navigate and how he do things. He says in the book of Malachi, the 3rd chapter, the very first verse,
Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me. And Yah and the Master whom ye seek shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant, whom ye delight in. Behold, he shall come, saith Yah of hosts.
See, the messenger of Yahweh have to what? Prepare. He got to prepare the way. Don't you know? We just can't go to the Almighty in the condition that we're already in. We can't go to him like that. We too filthy. He said our righteousness is like a filthy rag. We got to be cleaned up. And only the messenger of the covenant going to know how to what? Clean us up.
Hallelujah.
He's the only one who's going to know how to what? Do the right things. Because he's going to have all those spirits only that the Almighty going to put on him. For who? For us. People talk about the red heifer. They don't know what the red heifer is, but he is. You just can't present yourself to the Almighty any kind of way.
Hallelujah.
So the messenger have to prepare the what? The way. And he can't prepare before we go home because the Almighty already told us that the unclean is not what? Going in. Continue reading.
Verse 2. But who may abide the day of his coming? And who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire, and like fuller's soap. And he shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. And he shall purify the sons of Levi, and purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer unto Yah an offering in righteousness.
The reason they need to do this is because there's an order in things. And our order have to be what? Established and set up. And he got to set the sons of Levi what? Up. And they have to be what? Purified. Because they're going to be dealing with the holies of the holies. And they just can't go before the Almighty any kind of way. And these things got to be done before they step foot in the land, because they will defile the land. They have to be cleaned up. Israel have to be cleaned up. Continue reading.
Then shall he bring the offering of Yehudah and Jerusalem, be pleasant unto Yahweh, as in the days of old, and as in the former years.
See, there's some things that we used to do that we got to go back to start what? Doing it. And I want you to understand, the Almighty wants us to seek Yahweh and who? David. And if you don't know you're supposed to seek him, now's the time to ask. How do I seek him? What do I supposed to do? What am I supposed to look for? What is the signs? You need to start asking the question. Because that's what he commanded us to do. Now, nobody didn't tell us to bow down to him. Nobody didn't tell us. We didn't pray to him. Because that honor only is reserved for who? Yahweh. But this is what he did say. Go to the book of Isaiah, the 9th chapter. Because I got to let you all know about this servant. This servant isn't like any other servant. In the book of Isaiah, the 9th chapter, let's go right to it. Let's start at the 6th verse.
For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty Elohim, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace.
See, the Almighty wants you to know that this child is going to be born. I know most people don't realize and understand, but he is. He's going to be born, and the government is going to be upon who? His shoulder. What government? He's going to rule the world. He's going to rule the world. He says in the 7th verse,
of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end, upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom,
to order it, establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth even forever. The zeal of Yahweh of hosts will what? Perform this. Because the Almighty have to do something great in the earth. And y'all don't understand, our people are scattered everywhere. That's why what he's going to do and take hold is going to be great. And if you don't know who this servant is, I want you to know it's David. David is going to deliver us. David is going to save us. David is going to raise us up. David is going to take us up out of captivity, out of Babylon and all these Babylonian captivities and all these oppressors. David is going to do it. The Almighty going to have one shepherd. He's going to have one king. He's going to have one judge. And his name is David. So you don't have to confuse yourself to think it's going to be a multiple. He's going to be one. Because if it's 10 of them, you know what? 10 of them going to fight. And 10 of them going to want to be in charge. And 10 of them going to be one king. 10 of them going to want to be the head, the chiefs of chiefs, the heads of heads. And the Almighty ain't going to allow it to be stamped. He got one, his name is David. And the Almighty wants us to seek him. And the Almighty wants us to know he's going to be our shepherd. He's the one who's going to lead us. And he's going to lead us back home. And the last thing I'm going to share with you all is in the book of Jeremiah, the 31st chapter. In the book of Jeremiah, the 31st chapter, I just want you to read the 10th verse. And I'm going to see if you have the perceptibility to understand what this is saying. Go ahead and read that, IshiYAH.
Jeremiah 31, verse 10. Hear the word of Yahweh, O ye nations, and declare it in the isles afar off, and say, he that scattered Yisrael will gather him and keep him as a shepherd doth his flock.
Read the 11th verse.
For Yah hath redeemed Yaakov and ransomed him from the hand of him that was stronger than he.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
The Almighty is going to gather Israel through his servant, David. And may the Holy One of Israel bless you all. And Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah.
Yah's righteous.
Yah's righteous.
Yah's holy.
Yah's holy.
Let Yahweh be magnified.
Let Yahweh be magnified.
And we got a couple more things before this sun go down. So the house of Israel, Cincinnati, Ohio, come on up or down. Or up or over.
Y'all's gates.
Come on down. Y'all's gate.
Look, I know. Girl. Where's Mama?
Praise Yah in the morning, praise him at the noonday, praise him in the evening, praise him all day long. You know I'm gonna praise Yah in the morning, praise him at the noonday, praise him in the evening, praise him all day long. I praise Yah in the morning, praise him at the noonday, praise him in the evening, praise him all day long. You know I'm gonna praise Yah in the morning, praise him at the noonday, praise him
YIsraEL. Always got a praise for Yah. Always got a praise for Yah. Praise Yah in the morning, praise until the night. Praise Yah at the noonday, in the bright sunlight. Praise Yah in the evening, before I go to bed. Praise Yah while I'm sleeping, praise running through my head. I'm praising Yah all the time, because I really love Him. I am so glad that He's mine, and I am His. His name is Yah Elohim. No greater power can be. I keep His laws every day, and He takes good care of me. Praising Yah in the morning, praise until the night. Praising Yah at the noonday, in the bright sunlight. Praising Yah in the evening, before I go to bed. Praising Yah while I'm sleeping, praise running through my head. I'm praising Yah all the time, because I really love Him. I am so glad that He's mine, and I am His. His name is Yah Elohim. No greater power than me. I keep His laws every day, and He takes good care of me. I keep His laws every day, and He takes good care of me. I keep His laws every day, and He takes good care of me. Touch not, YAH'S anointed. Touch not, YAH'S anointed. Touch not, YAH'S anointed. Do His prophet no harm. Touch not, YAH'S anointed. Touch not, YAH'S anointed. Touch not, YAH'S anointed. Do His prophet no harm. When you read the book of Esther, you see a heathen man came on. He tried to murder all Yah's people. Y'all worked it out, so he died. He said, oh, touch not, YAH'S anointed. Touch not, YAH'S anointed. Touch not, YAH'S anointed. Do His prophet no harm. It's the book of the prophet Daniel. There was a king ever 10 years old. He tried to murder Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, but the fire was not consumed. Oh, touch not, YAH'S anointed. Touch not, YAH'S anointed. Touch not, YAH'S anointed. Do His prophet no harm. The man fighting against Daniel, he was going to the lion's den. There was a lion's mouth, where was that touch on you? But they were only against the wicked men. Oh, touch not, YAH'S anointed. Touch not, YAH'S anointed. Touch not, YAH'S anointed. Do His prophet no harm. Touch not, YAH'S anointed. Touch not, YAH'S anointed. Touch not, YAH'S anointed. Do His prophet no harm. Do His prophet no harm. Do His prophet no
Hallelujah. Exodus 31, 12 through 13. This is how you take out the Israelites in. praising Yahweh, our Elohim on this holy convocation day. Thou shalt not do any work. No. And if you're picking up sticks, then you will get picked up. This is what you do after you run in your home. Don't be out doing that what you get stolen. And we are telling our brothers and sisters, please listen to what the Most High says. That we must praise Him each and every day, but there's one day that sanctified, praise Yah. He gave it to us for a sign. And I'm telling you, I'll never leave it behind. Oh, it's sleeping on my mind, niggas, is how we get the vibe. Each and every time the light shines, son. You can say there's a sign. I will remember, praise Yah. And anybody coming into my house, better watch the spirit, watch. I know with nobody speaking out of turn, who can't get a listen and learn. Watch looking at your mouth, don't let your soul be burned. Please just turn to the Most High. This is how we say goodbye. We want to to all the children of Israel who are trapped get to hell. Please just learn how to do well. Stop getting on your knees every Sunday worshiping another AL. That we must turn from these wicked ways that we do every Sabbath day. Matter of fact, the ones that turn that darkness in the light that from the sundown to the sundown is when the Sabbath day go down. But they strictly confused in the name of confusion. It is Yahweh is giving us a wrong illusions. And let our things become before our faces. And that's why we worshiping in the wrong places. And the resurrected cemeteries teaching these things that is proving very please Yahweh come close and real. Please Yahweh let them hear the sound. Give the Sabbath as a sign. Give the Sabbath as a sign. The Sabbath is never praise Yah. Give the Sabbath as a sign. Give the Sabbath as a sign. The Sabbath is never praise Yah. And this is how we never sanctify. We ain't do you if you go when you die. All my brothers and sisters, why you look into the heavens when you cry? Or through the sky. Or go into the earth under the borders. Please tell me, my sons and daughters. It is Yahweh Sabbath days. Thou shalt not do any work through. Matter of fact, let me read the commandment. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shall a labor and do all the work. But the 7th day, holy unto Yahweh. Thou shalt not do any work. Thou will I serve, will I blood a man, serving, will I house, will I ask. Don't let this holy day pass from the 6 days. Yah made the heavens and earth, the sea and all that in them easy. Rested on the Sabbath day. Therefore Yahweh bless the Sabbath day and keep it holy. So remember the Sabbath day. It is a sign between me and thee. Let's say it God. Please my people, ain't what he does. But Yah for the Sabbath day sign. Keep the Sabbath as a sign. Keep the Sabbath as a sign. The heaven will never praise you. Keep the Sabbath as a sign. Keep the Sabbath as a sign. YIsraEL, or whatever y'all call it when it ain't Yahweh. Quran never spoke about the man Yahweh. I mean the name Yahweh. Brother back in IshiYAH, or the son of man that he served with faith, and y'all think he for somebody that kill. What you talking? Yahweh God, man, come on, man. You thinking that Yahweh God? Now you fucking up. If you just open the scriptures, you see it right there in Isaiah 34:16. Yahweh, only God, one word. Somewhere's look at it. Don't get too sure. Minister, reverend, pastor, who owns you all? You spitting disaster. If you ain't praising the Most High, who's Yahweh? Who's Yahweh? What's happening? What's up? What's happening? On my mind all day, all night, all my life. Praising Yahweh. Come on. Yeah. What's good? What's happening? What's up? What's happening? On my mind all night. Praising Yahweh. This is the man who brings trust in your Elohim. When he says he's gonna come here, it'll be like a dream. My friend, you from Monday to never all holy. Yahweh's laws are my love, I ever adore him. I write it down on paper to get him in my heart. I meditate and recite the laws as I walk. The fear of Yahweh is the hate, evil lies and pride. But with one of these Esau souls seen go to the skies. Come on. Yeah. What's good? What's happening? What's up? What's working? On my mind, all day, all night, all my life, praising Yahweh. Come on. Yeah. What's good? What's happening? What's up? What's working? All day, all night, all my life, praising Yahweh. Yah's righteous, Yah's holy, and let Yahweh be magnified. Praise Yah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. What's good? Yahweh. What's poppin'? Yahweh. What's cracking? Yahweh. What's up? Yahweh. On my mind. All day. It's about to be night. All my life, we. Hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. I'm about to call the next speaker, me.
All right, me. Give us your
Real quickly, I ain't gonna speak too long at all. Just gonna come and praise Yahweh real quick. First and foremost, giving all praises, all glory, all honor to the Most High Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov by saying hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. Praise the mighty Yah. Yah is righteous. Yah is righteous. Yah is holy. Yah is holy. And let Yahweh be magnified. It's a great blessing to be able to be here at this 24th Winter Annual Conference of the Sacred Laws of the Most High Conference. This is just the greatest experience of my life to be able to be a part of Yahweh's Holy Convocation. And there's nothing like being a part of Yahweh's holy program. And when I was growing up, I had a secret. You know, I grew up in New York around a bunch of rough people. I guess they made me a little rough. But I had a secret. I wasn't as rough as they were. And they all wanted to be the biggest dope dealers in the world. And the biggest gangsters in the world. And they was too dangerous for me. And I secretly just wanted to tell people the truth. You know, that was uncool when I was a kid. What, you just want to tell people the truth? You just want to teach people. And I didn't know what it meant, so I didn't tell a lot of people. But as I got older, I said, man, I'm just going to, find the truth, and I'm just going to tell people about it. And the Most High blessed me to be able to find the House of Israel of Cincinnati years ago. Praise Yah.
Praise Yah.
And I was able to meet the most dynamic leader that I've ever came across in my life. And that was Mowreh IshYAH. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And I met Mowreh IshYAH back in 2003. He came to my school, and I wasn't searching for Yah at that time. And he came to my school and he spoke, and I debated him. Well, I tried to. He just laughed at me, really. He just looked at me and smirked and let one of the younger guys talk to me. And then a year later, I was talking to the same people that brought him up there, and I said, man, take me to that elder Yah brought up here. Because I wanted to go hear the word of Yah. And I did, and I haven't been stopping with the word of Yah ever since. Praise Yah. And I wanted to just touch on real quickly what a saint is. We heard what is the future of the saints. Mowreh Yosef let us know the saints is going to rule the world.
Right.
He broke down who been ruling the world and how wicked they are. But at the end, the saints of the Most High is going to rule the world. And then we heard Mowreh Napthtali let us know there's certain sacrifices a saint of Yah must do.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to tell you real simply what a saint is. Go to the book of Psalms 106 and start reading at verse 16. And let me excuse myself. I said the next speaker is me, but I don't know some new people here. So my name is Mowreh IshYAH, YIsraEL, from the House of Israel, Cincinnati.
Hallelujah.
And in verse 16 of Psalms 106, it says, they envied Moses also in the camp, and Aaron, the saint of Yahweh. Now that lets me know right off the bat, a saint of Yahweh gotta be like a priest. Because who was Aaron? He was the high priest. Yahweh said to Moses, he said, get all the tribes, get all the heads of the tribes, and get all their staffs, 12 staffs, and put Aaron's staff for the head of the tribe of Levi. And then the next day, Aaron's staff bud almonds and leaves. And Yahweh said, leave that before the testimony so that Israel may know he has sanctified or separated the sons of Aaron to serve in the priest's office before him forever. And if you want to know what a saint is, just look at a priest. Now, why is it important to know what a priest does? Go to the book of Exodus, the 19th chapter. In the book of Exodus, the 19th chapter, start reading. We'll just begin in the 4th verse. No, I'll start in the 3rd verse. It says, and Moses went up unto Elohim, and Yahweh called unto him out of the mountain, saying, thus shalt thou say unto the house of Yaakov, and tell the children of Israel, ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bore you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. Now therefore, If you will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people. And if Yahweh would have just stopped there and just said we peculiar, we might have been able to figure some things out on our own. But then he said, for all the earth is mine. And in addition to being a peculiar people, you will be unto me a kingdom of priests. Now he's getting even more specific. Now you got to start wondering, well, what is a priest? But he didn't stop there. In the third thing he said, and a holy nation. Y'all let you know you're not only peculiar, which means if everybody in the crowd is wearing black, you should be wearing a different color. If everybody is eating fish, you should eat something else. If whatever everybody is doing, you're not doing that. Why? Because you're peculiar. You're different. Not only are you different and peculiar, you're a kingdom of priests. What does a priest do? A priest, that's why it was so beautiful what Mowreh Napthtali brought out about sacrifices. Because that's what a priest does. Their entire life is about sacrifice. If you look at the law of the high priest in Leviticus 21, he can't marry anybody he wants to. All the men in Israel can marry whatever Israelite woman they want to. They can even marry other nations. But a high priest, he can only marry a virgin of the children of Israel. Because he's a priest. A priest can't wear whatever he wants to. He has certain clothes he has to wear. A priest just can't get up in the morning and turn on the TV. He got to do the morning sacrifice. He can't just go run around the streets and act a fool. He has the holy oil of anointing upon him. He just can't do what everybody else does. Everything the priest does is about sacrifice. The priests in Israel, the Levites, don't even get their own land. Because Yahweh is their inheritance. They have to be given land donated by the other tribes. Because the priest is not, all they are is a sacrifice. So if Yahweh said that Israel is a kingdom of priests, how do you think we should be acting? How do you think we should be looking? What do you think we should be eating? Who do you think we should be marrying? Can we just run around in the world like we ain't Israel? Like we're not Yahweh's priests? And then he said, you're a holy nation. And the bottom line, that's what a saint is. A holy person. I'm going to show you two more places, and then I'm going to wrap up. Go to the book of Genesis, the 2nd chapter. In Genesis chapter 2, we're going to start reading in the first verse. And it says in Genesis 2:1, thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the 7th day, Elohim ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the 7th day from all his work which he had made. And Elohim blessed the 7th day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which Elohim created and made. This is the very first thing and very first time you see the Almighty sanctify anything. It's the 7th day. That's why it's the Sabbath day. And what does sanctify mean? The Hebrew word is kadesh. And what's the Hebrew word for saint? Kadesh. What's the Hebrew word for holy? Kadesh. Because it's all the same thing. Yahweh hallowed the 7th day. And he hallowed Israel. So Yahweh has set Israel aside as his saints. Go to Exodus 31 to prove that fact. Exodus 31, 12 through 17. But we're not going to read to the 17th verse. We're just going to read 12 and 13. Exodus 31:12. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying, Verily, my Sabbaths ye shall keep, for it is a sign between me and thee throughout your generations, that ye may know that I, Yahweh, do sanctify you. What does that mean? I, Yahweh, make you a saint. I make you holy. And how? And what does he use? The Sabbath day. So if you want to be a saint, well, you already are a saint. But if you want to establish your sainthood, because every Israelite is a saint of Yah. But if you want to establish it and actually take on the responsibility of being a saint, you have to do what Mowreh IshYAH brought out earlier. Sanctify Yahweh of hosts himself. Why? Because he sanctified you by yourself. You know that? Yahweh sanctified Israel and nobody else. And so we got to sanctify Yah and nobody else. And let him be our fear. And let him be our dread. And then the work begins. Now let me tell you all, Mowreh IshYAH didn't know I was going to do this. But I got to say something about Mowreh IshYAH. When Mowreh Elisha passed away, and Mowreh Elisha was a good friend of mine, and he was my mentor. And when he passed away, I said to Mowreh IshYAH, I said, I'm still I was a teacher, but I said, I'm still a young teacher, and I still need a mentor. And I asked him to be my mentor. And he said he would. And he's been mentoring me ever since. Even before I asked him, he was, because Mowreh Elisha was sick and I didn't want to bother him. And so I started bothering Mowreh IshYAH. And ever since I've been walking with Elisha and walking with the house of Israel, I've been led in the path of righteousness. And when the unfortunate experience of the classes breaking up in Cincinnati happened, it was devastating to me and my brother, Mowreh Napthtali. It was devastating to us. We were literally sick to our stomachs. We called each other, we said, man, I feel sick to my stomach. We said, man, what are we gonna do? We knew we weren't about to fool out, but we said, what we gonna do? And we said, we just gonna hunker down and keep the Sabbath together. So that's what we did. We just met at my house and we just started praising God. And we was doing that for what, like 3, 4, 5 weeks. And I was letting Mowreh IshYAH know everything that we was doing. And it came to the time where Mowreh IshYAH was like, look, we done tried to deal with these people, but we just gonna have to start a sanctuary. And he called me and he said, you gonna have to go ahead and do this thing. He said, Mowreh Naphtali's gonna be with you, but you gonna have to go ahead and lead the charge. And I didn't want that. I wanted everybody to get back together. I was 32 years old. I don't want to be the Mowreh of the house of Israel in Cincinnati. You know what kind of job that is? Cincinnati, that's where Elisha was. I was like, I don't need that. But he said do it, and I had to listen to him because it was the task that the Most High put on us. And then a couple years later, he moved to the city, and I was so happy. I was like, man, praise God. This is a hard job. I'm a 30-something, I got little babies. I'm a head Mowreh. This is, man, what am I going to do? And IshYAH came to Cincinnati, and he took over. And I was so happy he did. Y'all don't know how happy I was. I said, I got this elder here with me, and I could follow his charge and follow his lead. I mean, me and Mowreh Napthtali really took a deep breath, like, whew! Y'all don't know. But the Most High, and ever since he stepped in that role, The class look better. The revelations is just bigger. We got curtains that's colorful. You know, it's beautiful. I feel real good. I feel like Yahweh just been growing me up around the best leaders and elders I could be around. And one day, IshiYAH was like, man, I can't find my certificate of ordination that Mowreh Elisha gave me. I'm like, what you doing with it? He said, man, I think I put it in a gift that we gave his daughter. I said, man. And I know if Mowreh IshYAH or Mowreh Elisha gave me any kind of recognition, I'll be broken up if I lost that thing. And so in the spirit of Jacob, he was telling us about Jacob last night, utterly supplanting. I supplanted. I said, man, let me get one of them certificates. I just want to see how it looked, and I want to try to do some things. He finally got it to me. And we went and made him this plaque here. And it's a, let me tell y'all what it is. This is now you can't put this in nobody else's plaque or nothing. This is it's a carbon copy of the certification of ordination that has been awarded to Mowreh IshYAH in Israel, and it was awarded to him because of his demonstration by example and through his works and dedication and sincerity that he is qualified to teach the word of Yahweh, and is hereby ordained by the House of Israel Hebrew Biblical and Cultural Center. And I was able to get a photo of Mowreh Elisha's signature and put it right there. It's signed with the date that he gave it to him, July 17, 1996. And then we let him know that this is presented to him for your work as a servant of Yah and as the spiritual leader and teacher of the House of Israel, Cincinnati. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So that's to my good friends, my elders, my brothers. I love you, brother. I just don't want you to ever lose nothing like that. I know that must have been a situation. So praise the mighty Yah. And now I'd like to call up Mowreh IshYAH ben YIsraEL. Hallelujah. 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 Praise the mighty Yah.
Praise the mighty Yah.
Yah's righteous.
Yah's righteous.
Yah's holy.
Yah's holy.
Let Yahweh be magnified.
Let Yahweh be magnified.
You may be seated. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And this is going to be real quick. We touched on all these subjects, and I really didn't lose it, but I did put it in. We gave a gift to his daughter, Miriam, Alicia's oldest child. I think she's the oldest, correct? Okay, yeah, he has a son, my oldest daughter, and we honored her with a lot of Alicia works and our certificates and Nicole and myself and Mowreh Elkanah, we got all our certificates together and we put them in a plaque. And we were working so quick and making copies, and I think I put my original in the thing that we gave her. And but I still had a copy. So. But praise the mighty Yah. The only subject we didn't touch on, and then take 4 scriptures. So it's not just going to be real quick. It's Jacob's trouble. And Jacob's trouble is a subject matter that we all should be concerned about, because that's the very subject that, one of the main subjects that brought us here. Jacob's trouble is real, and but as I told many people, you have to let Yah be your fear, and let Yah
be your dread. When we talk about these things, about our troubles, but we talk about them just to let you know for purposes of knowledge. Not to scare you, because you shouldn't be scared anyway. Not to give you fear, because you shouldn't fear nobody but Yah. When you want to be scared of Yah and nothing else. But we do have to tell y'all the truth. And then according to the book of Jeremiah, the 30th chapter, and there's a lot of things that you really, really need to know. There's so many things, we just can't get it all in the Sabbath day. It's just, we can't get it all. But nevertheless, we will give y'all the meat of everything. But this is what it says. Jeremiah 30 verse 4, and these are the words of Yah, spake concerning Israel and concerning Yehudah. For thus says Yah, we've heard a voice of trembling, of fear, not of peace. And ask now and see whether a man do travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. And in other words, it talks about great suffering that many of our people will, from the trouble that will befall our people. Of course, is using the metaphor of as the woman, a woman who's had a baby, to travail during this time won't be nothing. They'd be pregnant at this time. So you know it's not specifically talking about a woman. Although her pain would be great because she has to see the pain of others. And particularly the pain and the suffering that most of the house of Israel will go through, and particularly the ones who're supposed to control and be responsible for our communities, and that is the men. Our communities are in shambles because we just have not stood up and took the charge. We had not led, and we've allowed other people to take control of our own communities. And so as a result of that, a lot of our pain will be even greater. But this is what the Most High really wants you to know. He wants you to know that that day is great. Not because you're going to be in pain, not because you're going to be suffering, not because it's a day that you never experienced or even never seen before. He wants you to know that day is great is because that is the time of your deliverance. That's the time the baby will be born. That's the time that you will realize your freedom. Right now, you still don't realize your freedom because all this been is talk. All y'all heard from teachers and leaders, we're going to be saved, we're going to be saved, we're going to be delivered, we're going to be delivered, we Israel. But at the same time, just being Israel, it's just been a lot of talk. And now people ready for action. But really, the action that they ready for, they really not ready for. Because this is what will happen. It says, at last, for that day is great, so that is none like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. In other words, the part that y'all want to emphasize is that you're going to be saved out of it. But at the same time, it is a time of trouble. And that is called Jacob's trouble. Not because Yah has determined trouble against you and want to trouble you. That's not why Jacob's trouble is coming. Jacob's trouble is coming because you got enemies who want to destroy you. And they know your time is up. They know your 400-year sentence is up. They know that. And I asked a man in jail whose time is coming to an end, asked him to see what kind of loopholes they go through to try to make it be longer. And asked them what kind of games they play. They know. And you should know. A lot of games will be played. As I stated to people yesterday, they didn't want us to go out of Egypt. Moses said to go several times, let my people go. Man, let my people go. Man, let my people go. Man, let my people go. And after all the wonders and after all the plagues, he still let my people go. And in the end, the Almighty had to make him let my people go. When we were in Babylon for 70 years, in Babylon, King Cyrus wrote a decree that we will be free. The king of Babylon. And still, they still didn't want to let the Israelites go. Some of them walked out, and some of them started building. And then, but many of them stayed in captivity. And then the people that were building, they made them stop. And said, what is this thing you're doing? Man, y'all not free people, y'all slaves. Get y'all, stop all this mess. Building up Jerusalem. Talking about y'all the people of the Most High. And they had to stop for years until they found the records that Cyrus had wrote. Now, are we to believe at the stroke of midnight, the 400-year anniversary, because I can assure you, that year will be celebrated. The 400-year anniversary will be celebrated. It was celebrated in America already in 2007. America celebrated their 400th anniversary because they the youngest nation on earth. And that was in 2007. They had it on license plates and everything. And you know what they had on them license plates? Down in Virginia, some slave ships. And some shackles. And our 400-year anniversary will be celebrated. And it'll be celebrated with a bunch of bombs and rifles and guns. That's how they will celebrate, because they do not want to let you go. And so before that time comes, the pain will begin. The decree will go forth. And what did Yah say about the decree? Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather yourselves together, O nation, not desire, before the decree bring forth. And the decree is going forth. People in the government already know it. The only people that ain't doing nothing about it is our people. I guess they think it just, stroke of midnight, we free. We's a free, master. No, it don't work like that. That's TV. That's TV, and watch what it says. For it shall come to pass in that day, said Yahweh, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. And what type of yoke do they have? I look at Israel today, and you can see yokes, but these yokes seem to be just yokes on your mind. But Yah is not the author of confusion. Yah mean what he say, and he say what he meant. He said yoke, and he meant yoke. And let me tell you where these yokes come from. So anytime you're dealing with animals, and oxen and bulls, they yoke. In other words, they tie them together. And that's exactly what's going to happen to our people. They will be yoked again. They will be yoked again. And let me show you where they're going to be put at when they're yoked again. First place is in the book of Isaiah 42. A lot of people ask me, well, will it be me? Will the righteous be yoked? Will that person be yoked? I don't know. All I know is the Almighty said we shall be saved out of it. And that's the part you want to know. Regardless if you had to walk into the lion's den. Regardless if you put in the fiery furnace. Regardless of what happens, you'll be saved out of it. And that's what you want to know. That's where you want your faith to be. It says in Isaiah 42, verse 7. I'll start at verse 6. YAH called thee in righteousness, talking about his servant. That's what we've been talking about all day. And will hold thy hand and will keep thee and give thee for a covenant of the people, for a light of the Gentiles. And watch what his servant will do. To open the blind eyes and to bring out the prisoners from the prison. And them that sit in darkness out of the prison house. Because you know they got 2 prisons within a prison. And really 3. You're in prison in captivity. Then you're in prison because you're locked up behind some bars. And then they got another little prison called a box where it's real dark. And they put you in this dark box. That when you come out, you can't see, you can't walk, you can't feel your limbs or nothing. Well, we're going to be in all those prisons.
Prison your mind too.
Yes, it's on your mind. You also read the same thing in the 22nd verse. Turn there. While our people talking about and thinking about leaving America, well, where y'all think these people going to go in prison? Who going to take the key and unlock the doors? Watch what it says in Isaiah 42. It says, Isaiah 42 and 22, but this is a people robbed and spoiled. No matter how much money you make, no matter how much success you get, some way, somehow, they seem to garnish your check. They seem to take something right before, just take it from you and be justified. And let me tell you who do it. The government. That's who do it. The same people that get you to vote, the same people that get you to sign up for the army, the same people that do all those things. That's your enemy. And watch what it says. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none deliver for a spoil, and none says restore. They ain't even talking about the people hid in prison houses. Who talking about them? Our people talking about getting land and building and doing all kinds of, and we got a bunch of people already locked up and a bunch of more waiting to be locked up. And not only that, in the book of Isaiah 49, turn there. I just want you to see. And if you ever been to prison, you ever been locked up and been in prison, and I had. What? Yes, I was in prison. Yes. And it was a long sentence. And it was long 20 days I was locked up. And the longest time of my life, my goodness. And it was the worst time of my life because a few days before I got out, guess what happened? Mowreh IshYAH died. And I had to hear the news while locked up. And I went straight from prison to the funeral. It's a true story. And all I did was get some messed up tags on the car. Gave my slave name instead of my Hebrew name. That's the last thing you want to do. Isaiah 49. And this is what it says. Verse 7. Thus says Yah, the Redeemer of Israel, and his Holy One, to him whom man despiseth, to him whom the nation abhorreth, to a servant of rulers. Kings shall see and arise. Princes also shall worship because of Yah that is faithful, and the Holy One of Israel, and he shall choose thee. Thus says Yah, in acceptable time have I heard thee, and a day of salvation have I helped thee. And I will preserve thee, and give thee for a covenant of the people, to establish the earth, to cause to inherit the desolate places, that thou mayest say to the prisoners, go forth. To them that are in darkness, show yourselves, and they shall feed in the ways, and their pastures shall be in all high places. In other words, trouble is coming, and we know where we're going to be, and we know what's going down. The only question is, what are we going to do about it? The Almighty already let us know, seek righteousness, seek meekness. So there's no slick plan to escape this. Some people are trying to escape it. They say, well, I'm moving to Africa. Some say, I'm moving to the islands. Some say, I'm moving to Europe. Some say, I'm doing this, I'm going to give me some bomb shelter. Bomb shelter going to help you from Yah. How's that going to help you from Yah? You be in a bomb shelter, and Yah just flood that thing out. Yeah, seal it in. Earthquake, you'll never come out. Just bury it. Isaiah 61. When you don't believe us, all you got to do is when you ride around in the various cities, they already done changed the highways. Y'all think the highways y'all think these pretty highways is for traffic. No, they for tanks. They for tanks. They come right into the cities with no problem. And they got these big old buildings with barbed wires that you don't see nobody in, no boxes, no business, no people, but just barbed wires all the way around the building.
Facing in.
Yeah, they facing in, not facing out. What they think we just that dumb? We know what's happening.
All the Walmart.
Yeah, look at Walmart, man. Who needs a super center?
That's what they gonna do.
Yeah.
The bars are gonna.
Isaiah 61, and watch what it says. And there's one more scripture after this. The first verse, the Spirit of Yah, Elohim, is upon me, because Yah have anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound. Because that's what's going on. That's what's going on. That's why it says, he shall break the yoke of iron off your neck. Because you know our people. If our people are rebellious, you think they're going to let somebody just put some yoke on them? No, right? Or you think they're going to let them just walk free? No, they don't do that today. I see guys, man, they be so pent up, and they be twisted up. And if you're doing mass incarceration, you can just only imagine what kind of yoke they will put on us. But it's coming. It's coming. To proclaim the acceptable year of Yah and the day of the vengeance of our Elohim, to comfort all that mourn, because it's going to be a great mourning. To appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called the trees of righteousness, the planting of Yah, that he might be glorified. And they shall build the old wastes, They shall raise up the former desolations, and they shall repair the waste cities, the desolation of many generations. And strangers shall stand and feed your flocks. The sons of Elon shall be your plowmen and your vine dressers. But ye shall be named the priests of Yah. Men shall call you the ministers of our Elohim. Ye shall eat the riches of the Gentiles, and in their glory shall ye boast yourselves. And this will happen. But you got to go through something before that happens. And you need to know what that is. And how do you prepare? You break your heart.
Break your own heart.
You break your spirit. And finally, you seek righteousness.
Hallelujah.
You seek righteousness. See, seek righteousness and seek meekness. That means you have decided and determined yourself. Because the scripture says, save yourself. No matter how much I'm committed to the Most High, it's not going to save my son. My son going to have to save himself. I can't save my son. I can go before Yah and say, look, take me, Yah. And Yah already, if he was going to take somebody, he would have took Moses. And he told Moses, get out my face. So, all we can do is save ourselves. And save yourself. Break your heart. Stop being holy. Stop being stiff-necked. Stop being rebellious. And pay attention. See, a lot of people, the reason why they stiff-necked and rebellious, as Yehoshua was bringing out, is because people don't even understand. They don't see the messengers of Yah. And because they don't see the messengers of Yah, they don't respect Yah's word. Because that's who he's going to bring his message through. Why do you think they call messengers? Because that's who he sent his message through. But I guess everybody got a Bible now, so everybody a messenger of Yah.
I don't have a Bible.
Well, most of us got Bibles. And the last scripture is one of the most misunderstood, misinterpreted scriptures in the whole entire scriptures. And it's Isaiah 53. And y'all know what this whole scripture is talking about?
Israel.
It's not only is it talking about YIsraEL, but it's talking about the actual Jacob's trouble. That's what it's literally talking about. Jacob's trouble is a report of what will happen to us in the last days. And watch what this says. It's almost like a poetic song or psalm. Watch what it says. Isaiah 53. Who have believed our report? Nobody, because they ain't doing it. And to whom is the arm of Yah revealed? In other words, who did Yah bring this revelation to? Well, undoubtedly, nobody, because nobody's listening. For he, who is he? Israel, shall grow up before him as a tender plant, as a root out of a dry ground. He has no form nor comeliness, and when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. And no wonder people listen. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows, acquainted with grief. And we hid, as it were, our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. In other words, we didn't even take notice of him. And you notice they talking about Christ, because Christ wasn't despised at all. He had great multitudes following him everywhere he went. Just healing people, feeding people, and just doing all kind of stuff, according to the New Testament. But this man right here, nobody followed him. Nobody listened to him. Nobody esteemed him not. And watch what it says. Surely he hath borne our griefs, carried our sorrows, yet we esteemed him stricken, smitten of Elohim, and afflicted. And the only person that can claim to be that is somebody who's doing the work. They actually doing the work. And then you'll know, my goodness. You feel like, my goodness, like Moses. Moses went to Yah and said, Yah, man, I didn't bear these people, man. These ain't my children. And he felt smitten of Elohim. Why'd you put this on me? You called me, I didn't choose this. And some leaders who's doing the work, they feel this. They know what it takes. They know the grief. They know it. You trying to help people, and they
Trying to fight you and drown you with them.
and slander them. But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him. And with his stripes we are healed. All we like sheep have gone astray. Why? Because the sheep are scattered. But watch what it says about the sheep. We, talking about the sheep, have turned everyone to his own way. Because you know how it is. When one falls, crabs in a barrel, you just start bringing everybody down. Not one crab is a leader. If a crab was a leader, man, crabs would have been out the barrel. Man, I'm at top, man. Grab my hand. And they've been pulling like a little chain. Everybody up. But you know what a crab do? They pull down. They don't pull up. And that's the same as our people. Just imagine if our people run around the community and see trash on the ground, and then one person picked up trash, and then the next person put up trash, and then another one plant grass. My goodness, you'd be like, man, this community is beautiful. But we just the opposite. One person threw down trash, then the next person threw down trash, then another one trampled the grass, and then now you see what we got. Crabs in the barrel. And watch what it says. He was oppressed, he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her shears is dumb, so he opened not his mouth. In other words, he knew that this was a death sentence. He knew what he was there to do and what it was for. And just like a lamb, didn't say nothing, didn't complain, because he knew the role, he knew the job, he knew the position, he knew who he was, he knew why he was there. And a lamb is something that's humble. And watch the 8th verse. He was taken from prison and from judgment. And who shall declare his generation? For he was cut off out of the land of the living. For the transgression of my people was he stricken. And this is just talking about Yah's suffering servant that would stand in a gap like Moses did, or Abraham did for Sodom and Gomorrah. Right before they went to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, Abraham said, will you destroy all of them? You going to destroy the righteous? What if there's 50 righteous there? That's what standing in the gap is all about. That's what restored is all about. Who's saying restored? Who's saying let's get this thing together? Before we even read the scripture, none said restore. The Almighty had blessed Mowreh Elisha to even name the conference the restoration of the sacred laws of the Most High.
Praise God.
And what do restoration mean? That means come back to Yah. Let's restore. Let's put things back in order. And we got a lot of things out of order.
Show you right.
And we have to just humble ourselves. And when you start realizing I'm part of the problem instead of solution, that's what they say about a person that has mental problems, or a person that has and they just refuse to say they do. Or somebody on drugs, and they just refuse to say they on drugs. And somebody drinking out of control, and they just refuse to say they out of control. And somebody that's just doing crazy things to their family, and they just refuse to acknowledge. And we still, or yet, we just ain't came to that place where we have acknowledged we have sinned and done wickedly.
Yes, yes,
You're
yes.
still not at that place. You'll know when you're at that place because you will look different, and you will act different, and you will sound different. And then the Almighty will hear the cry of humility.
Yes, yes.
He will hear a real cry.
Thank you, Father.
Not this fake cry that Moses thought the children of Israel was crying in the wilderness. Joshua, man, that ain't no Joshua thought they was crying in the wilderness. Moses, man, that ain't no cry, no people overcome and need help. This is a rebellious cry. This is a celebration. This is some straight out wickedness. And what we have to do, we have to gather ourselves together as much as possible, because we don't know the times. Y'all teaching us the times. And every time we gather ourselves together, what will happen is Yah will reveal more. And he's going to let us know where to hide ourselves. He's going to let us know where we need to go. He's going to let us know how to be. That's what Yah will do for us. If we seek the things that he tells us to seek. Jacob's trouble is not the trouble that Yah has determined to bring upon you, even though he said, you will not be altogether unpunished. But Jacob's trouble is about what your enemy plan on doing to you.
Hallelujah.
You're already in prison, so Yah don't need to put you in prison again. Your sin's almost up. But your enemies, they refuse to let you go. So let's circumcise our hearts to Yah.
Thank you.
And let us free ourselves.
Yes, yes, yes.
So that yoke and iron can be broke. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And I know the sun is almost down. Well, the sun is down. Sun is down. And we didn't get a chance to get to our beautiful elder. And we apologize for that. Did y'all enjoy yourself?
Yes.
Did y'all learn?
Yes.
Y'all ready to make y'all sacrifices?
Break your own heart.
Yeah, let's break our own heart. Don't let nobody else break your heart. Break your own heart. But if they do break your heart, that's good, because your heart is what?
Broken.
So don't be mad if they break your heart. And don't be mad if they break your spirit. Just know you didn't do it fast enough.
Right.
You didn't do it fast enough. We don't have anything tomorrow, but we still going to gather ourselves together with our beautiful brothers and sisters. We thank the internet listening audience. They like with us. And we get a lot of comments from YouTube and Facebook and Blog Talk, and they with us. They with us. And people, y'all don't, we say them. Yeah, hallelujah. And we have people, and they have these little phones, right? And they prop these phones up, and for hours, and I mean for hours, they'll sit there from one end of the Sabbath, from the beginning of the Sabbath to the end of the Sabbath. Ain't that amazing?
Yeah.
I'm right, Brother Mesa? I'm right, Brother Charles? Am I right, sis?
Hallelujah.
And then, not only that, I praise Yah, because Y'all see Israel, right? Right here. I'm talking about Israel right here.
Hallelujah. Praise God.
Everybody's still here, all the way to the end. Just like Israel will be, because Israel is the apple of Yah's eye. And they could have been bailed out, but they ain't about to bail out on Yah. So I praise Yah for you all. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. Praise the mighty Yah. Yah is righteous. Yah is righteous. Yah is holy. Yah is holy. Let Yahweh be magnified. And let us praise Yah for this beautiful gathering. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And yes, and just one more announcement. We're still taking registration. We still have a lot of things for y'all to take home after we close out. So let's get together, let's talk, let's introduce ourselves to one another, and let us break bread as Israelites. We still got food, right?
Yep.
Yeah, look, we got to eat too. I know y'all stay down.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Almighty Yahweh, our Heavenly Father, we come before Thee at the end of this great Shabbat day that Thou hast ordained before us to praise You once again. You're truly a magnificent Elohim. You're truly a great and marvelous Elohim, my Yah. Thou hast even blessed us yet again on another blessed day, a blessed Shabbat. And we pray that You continue to be with us, and not for our sake, Yah. Continue to do it for Your righteousness' sake, Your mercy's sake, Your goodness' sake, even Your sake, my Yah. Even for Your word's sake, my Yah. Do it, Yah. Be with Thy people. Be with Thy sons and Thy daughters. Even the nation that Thou hast chosen to be a peculiar treasure, even unto Yourself. We love You, Yah. Thou art our Father. You are our Savior. You are our Creator. You are our everything, Yah. And we love You, Yah. We praise You, Yah. We worship You and only You, Yah. And we bow to our knees before You, Yah. Hallelujah. 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 Hallelujah.
Praise the mighty Yah. Yah is righteous and Yah is holy, and let Yahweh be magnified. Shema Yisrael, Yah Eloheinu, Yah Echad. Hear, O Israel, Yah Eloheinu, Yahweh is one.
Hallelujah.
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 Hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. Yah is righteous and Yah is holy, and let Yahweh be magnified.
And may Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. May Yahweh make His face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. May Yahweh lift up His countenance upon thee and grant thee peace. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise Yah. Praise Yah. Yah is righteous. Yah is righteous. Yah is holy.
Yah is holy.
Let Yahweh be magnified.
Let Yahweh be magnified. Hallelujah.
And I just got one announcement. If y'all just sit for 1 second, literally gonna be 1 second. Just one announcement. Y'all see my beautiful wife back there? Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And one other beautiful person, I just want to just introduce y'all to. Y'all never met this guy, and I just wanted y'all to meet him. This brother is a good friend of mine. I love him to death. He's become one of my brothers. And we're going to do a whole lot of things together. This is my brother from another brother. Another what? Mother. Not another brother. Another mother. I want y'all to meet my friend. Brother La El. Stand up.
Where'd he go? Where'd the dude go? He left. There he is right there.
He was with Bernard, and now he is La El. Hallelujah. I just want to introduce y'all to my brother. La'el means belonging to Elohim. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Praise God.
Sing too, Mowreh.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, he can. He blows. He blows, boy.
He can really sing.
Oh, I already know he can. Look, Bernard was bold, La'el a little bit shy. And we got one more person I got to introduce y'all to, but we got to talk first. We're going to talk a little bit first. And then I'm going to introduce y'all to her. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Praise the mighty Yah.
Praise the mighty
Yah's
Yah.
righteous.
Yah's righteous.
Yah's holy.
Yah's holy.
And Yahweh be magnified.
Yahweh be magnified.
And Elder Yael, raise your hand. I said, yes. You Yael? Then why you raise your hand? Because you know what I did. Elder Ariel, raise your hand. And she'll be taking registrations. Please help us. It'll help us a great deal. And we appreciate y'all. And all those who came real far, real quick. We got our sister and her husband, family, all the way down, Miami, Florida. They all the way down there. Stand up, please. And while y'all standing up, stand up from all the way from Las Vegas. My brother Mason, stand up. And then we got my brother Charles, all the way from Tampa, Florida. And listen, y'all see Charles, but y'all ain't met his son. And his son, my goodness, he's a zealous for y'all. So y'all will meet him too. And Brother Alex, if you're watching us, praise the mighty Yah. Shabbat shalom. And am I missing anybody? And my brother from Kentucky, and he don't eat no chicken. Did we miss anybody? All right, hallelujah.
Also, Brother Mason is moving to Cincinnati.
Yeah, Brother Mason, he'll be right there in Cincinnati.